We are live, folks. Lots to keep track of here, but allow me to grab my guitar. Room here. Let me turn the volume off here. What's up, everybody? Yo, yo, yo. How's it going? That's our red light.
Oh, I was going to ask.
The light turned red.
Yeah.
So that means we are live. We've got people watching. We've got Tim Pierce here. Buddy David said here. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. I like that. That's like what I call my son. Hey, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, buddy.
I like using it, too.
Yeah, I like it.
Bro.
Bro's good. Somehow that became the thing. Doug, Shelton, how are you? People are just, they're coming into the amphitheater, the virtual amphitheater, or, little theater right now. Yeah, love you guys. Love you guys. Tim Fedetz said, hi, Tim. I'm Tim.
Hey, Tim, nice to meet you.
Indeed.
Shave your head like me and we'll look exactly like
Yeah, look at Tim's new look, you guys. Pretty slick, I must say. I'm a fan. So, what I was thinking is, we've got this great session guitar player, musician, all-around great guy here. So we gotta do some jamming.
Yeah.
Doug Nichols is someone that supports a lot. He watches this.
Cool, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Nice to meet you.
Tim appreciates you as well. I'm sure you guys have checked out Tim Pierce's YouTube channel and your website, timpierce.com? Or
Well, yeah. You can Google my name and it comes right to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Ozzy Farrow, another great supporter. Look at this. It's awesome. Joshua Norco, you are right. He says it's jam time.
Okay, then.
I want to hear you jam, so.
Okay.
Check the volume here a little bit.
There was a great moment when I played.
Talk to me.
And you played.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to turn it down a little bit here. Let's see what happens. turn the volume back up for speaking. Oh,
That was fun.
give it up for Tim. Oh, I know one of the reasons why I was so much louder
Yes.
on the recording, because here the blend is really nice.
Gotcha.
It's because the sound's being recorded over on the controller,
Oh, okay.
and my amp is right next to it.
All right, that's fine.
Sorry, you guys.
You're-
That's what that was.
You're a great
Because
rhythm player,
people
so.
kept saying,
Turn it up,
"You're
turn it up.
overpowering Tim," and I'm like, God, it sounds really good in here. But I just realized that I'm using this to record the sound,
Gotcha,
and it's
okay.
like not
Okay.
near you. So, actually, put that up there, so we'll be speaking right into it, and then I can look at your comments here, and then that'll help. So, talk about that PRS.
This is a custom PRS that I have to admit this, but Paul
Here, you can just
bestowed this.
hold it
Paul
up
is
like
a friend
that.
of mine, and he bestowed this upon me. And it's a really great guitar. He keeps improving these guitars all the time. The pickups are very vintagey sounding. It says custom made for Paul Reed Smith, so I think he got it to bring to the NAMM show a few years ago, and he's a great guy, and I'm very lucky to have this guitar.
When did you first meet Paul Reed
It
Smith?
was about 4 years ago.
How did that come about?
He's,
Did you guys know someone in common, or?
Yeah, I had a friend who kind of works for him from time to time, and he introduced us, and I brought Paul to a session I was doing in Hollywood, and he actually started crying because nobody had ever invited him to a recording session before. Hard to believe,
Interesting.
but he came to a session, and I played this guitar, and he ended up letting me borrow it for a long time.
Yeah. Nice.
You know,
It's pretty cool to have one that says two.
Yeah. It says made for Paul Reed Smith on the
Right.
back.
Well, he is definitely. I mean, I've seen interviews with him where he's just so passionate about what he does and
Yes, he
trying
keeps-
to be the best he can be and all that.
He knows he has a lot of work ahead of him all the time, and he's always trying to improve his guitars. He really is.
Well, it sounded pretty sweet, man.
Thank you.
So the next jam that we do, I'll be sure to put this in a central spot so it sounds better. But I still want to ask you something because I saw a comment here. Someone asked, what was the first thing you learned on guitar, or the first song?
Well, maybe Walk Don't Run.
What-
And
do you
who
know-
did Walk Don't Run?
Adventures?
Yeah. How's it
Don't
go?
ask me how I know that. Oh, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
There was another thing called Watermelon Man.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I was thinking that Herbie Hancock Watermelon Man. I think it was
That's the good one.
I remember that. Now I can turn you down a little bit. Sorry, I just volunteered to crank you. Yeah, let's hear that again. It's cracking, they said.
Nice.
Let's do it a little more, a little more. Oh,
Little more.
cracking as the volume is cracking.
All right.
sorry for the volume, guys.
It's me. I'm too loud, too soft, too loud.
It's one of those things like my buddy Brian's not here to help check those levels.
Oops.
No problem, no problem. You know, sounded like it worked out though, right? When I moved it back, the volume was better, right? And then when we talk, I'm going to turn it up. So there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes, sir.
There was a jam we were doing.
Yeah.
Earlier. Oh, applause. Well, thank you very much,
Nice.
Billy.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, we can't hear it, but I can feel it. Hopefully. Actually, sometimes I do feel
I
like
feel you
crickets.
feeling
here.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So there was a jam that I wanted to talk about that was, and then we'll demonstrate it.
Okay.
It was C major 7.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Play the chord since I'm caffeine and technology.
Guitar.
So we had this C major 7 chord, right? And then we went to just a classic D, and we went to
E major.
the E major, right?
Yeah.
And so talk about, and you can like kind of give maybe some lick ideas.
Absolutely.
How you're thinking about that.
I'm gonna tune really
Yeah,
quick.
tune up. Well, let's see how the.
And I'm ready.
Ever been to BB King's in Memphis?
I never have.
I've been there. I haven't played there. Okay, so we were at C major 7 to D to E.
The thing about this progression that's fun and can be actually kind of dangerous is that you need to. I believe the first 2 chords require an E minor approach, and the third chord requires an E major approach, and that's what's fun.
And so C major.
This C major 7 is really an E minor over C. You can see the E minor, and then the D. They all kind of dictate an E natural minor scale, which I think we discovered was E Aeolian.
Gotcha.
And then the minute you get to the E major chord, you need to start playing major, which could be E pentatonic major.
So how about this? How about you play without me playing the chords behind it?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Oh,
let's
yeah,
hear
you'll
the
hear.
sound of that.
Yeah.
Then we'll do it with the chords. And
Okay, here we go.
We'll see what that.
Starting
Go for it.
C major 7. So that's me picking out chord tones on each chord.
Yeah, yeah. How about the like kind of the arpeggios of them? Let's hear that.
Sure.
How do people? Can you talk about arpeggios for a second? Like what as a good someone that maybe is trying to bust out, like Jeffrey Atakora. You know Jeffrey?
I think that
using arpeggios to
yeah,
get better.
The way I look at arpeggios is as pieces of chords. So if you're taking a D chord, the second chord of this progression,
Yeah.
I see the D chord everywhere I possibly can. Here, 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 everywhere I can on the guitar. If you just take 3 notes of that chord and make a run out of it, you're doing an arpeggio. Here. So by seeing chord shapes and just playing across them, that's how I create
Did you
arpeggio.
practice this kind of thing a lot? Like, like up arpeggios up and down?
Not really.
Not really?
No, not really.
You're more of a little cluster.
Yeah, more I would listen to the Allman Brothers and do, Yeah, and for me it's smaller units, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
3-note units.
So, and I think of this way too. You got I might play on the C major 7 chord. I might play E minor.
Yeah.
Like we talked
I would
about.
too. I would
so
too. Yeah.
Give me a C major.
And then E major.
And then, which which when we get in this setting, your ear can dictate it, but you hear E major pentatonic or like E mixolydian. And
Right.
Mixolydian is kind of the rock major.
Yeah,
scale.
E7. I don't say the word mixolydian in my mind. I say the word E7 when I play E mixolydian, but I'm seeing the E7 chord.
And just for fun, let me use my roadie.
I want that thing so bad. I want the roadie.
And I'm not getting paid to use this. It's just fun. I was talking over it. There it is. Oh, my buddy that was here last week, Bob Ryan, he's watching right now. Hey, Bob. He says he'd like to meet you. I'd love to hook you guys up. That'd be some
come over next time.
That'd be some guitar fireworks.
Let's play.
Okay, so for that, wherever I know in the E minor scale, and then when he goes to the E, mixolydian, and then right back to. So that was just literally just the scales, and you could hear it was right. But then turning it into music, it can be it's a lifelong journey, a lifelong thing to work on. You're always trying. You're always.
Yeah, you want to play.
I know you always feel like you suck.
I do.
I mean, and I'm telling it because I know you. I don't think no one thinks you suck.
There are guitar players who are worse than me at that feeling, who are better than me as guitar players. Scott Henderson is really hard on himself, and Sean Tubbs, they're both really hard on themselves.
You know who used to talk about how he sucked was Alan Holdsworth.
That's right. He was famous for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did meet him once, but I heard stories about people seeing him after an amazing show at the Baked Potato and him apologizing and them going, "What are you talking about?"
Right, I know. Same thing with, I've seen that.
Yeah.
So, Jack is asking what amp you're using. You're actually going through my divided by 13.
Yeah, but it's set perfectly clean. The distortion is coming from my Nobles ODR1.
Yep.
And the reissue of the Nobles ODR1 is great. I recommend it. Very sweet sounding overdrive. That's really what it is, because the amp by itself is very clean. Dead clean.
Yeah.
Totally clean.
Now Rich Moran's asked, did you ever have any formal training?
Not really, but my training as a guitar player, I had a great guitar teacher once a week for 2 years from the age of 12 to 14. That's it. That's all I ever had, and I really wish I had more training. I mean, if I could go back and do anything, I would have had
Big
lots
part
more training.
of becoming a musician is the multiple experiences, though.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's not enough. I mean, you couldn't even put a price on the value of the experiences, the individual experiences that you've had under the gun, under the pressure, having to be creative, come up with things on the spot, all that stuff.
I was in bands all my life until I turned 21. When I was 21, I moved to LA at the end of 1979, and I started playing with people in LA immediately in the early 80s, and that was like trial by fire. That was jumping into the big pool and having to swim.
What's the movie you're in?
Danny Collins. Al Pacino.
I want to just brag about you. How about that?
It's a good movie, actually. Small movie.
You're in it was like a few years ago. You were even in the trailer.
Yeah.
But you kind of play yourself.
I do, yeah.
You're a session guitar player now.
Yeah, and he's like a Neil Diamond type character. I've done a bunch of recording with Neil Diamond. That's beside the point. But he plays like a Neil Diamond type character, like at the end of his career. But he's super famous. It's a small, low budget film, but high quality film. Lots of great actors. See it on cable if you get a chance. It's really good. Great story. It doesn't matter about me being in it. It's a great story. And Al is a personal friend.
Well, you're getting a lot of questions here, so let me just go with this for a moment.
Okay.
Can you guys hear us speaking all right? Let us know, because I have it turned down for the amps. Do you set the amp volume up high and control it with guitar volume?
I don't set it up high, but we have to set it has to be high enough to where you can get up over the drummer if you're playing with the drummer. But yeah, you set the amp, use your pedal board, and use the guitar volume when you're playing with a band, I believe.
One more time, the movie's called
Danny Collins.
Danny Collins,
Yeah,
starring
Danny Collins, Al
starring.
Pacino.
Let's see, Tim Pierce and co-starring
Jennifer
Al Pacino.
Garner. Yeah, exactly.
Starring Tim Pierce, co-starring Jennifer Garner and Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
I mean, you know, you're. Oh, you know, I called it too. They called the Breaking Bad look. Breaking
Yes. Yes.
Bad. Eisenberg.
Yes. Now that's what I'm trying to cop that right now.
What gear did you use on Guitar Land?
Is
that your solo album?
Yeah, it is. But you have to realize that was so long ago. I can remember a few things. I had an Eddie Van Halen Music Man that I used a lot, guitar. I used a 50-watt Marshall. I used a Marshall JCM 800. I used a Rivera amp that I had at the time. It was so long ago that I'm going to have trouble remembering. I used my Tom Anderson Stratocaster.
Yep.
And so I would say the Tom Anderson Strat that has no finish on it that I still have, and an Eddie Van Halen Music Man that I wish I still had. I sold it. I shouldn't have.
Gabriel Lincourt, how you doing, dude?
Hey, Gabe.
That's what we say in California, dude. Gabriel says, how did you two meet? How do you remember us?
Brett Papa
was
working for Frederick at Divided by 13, and he said, hey, my friend Marty Schwartz is awesome. Check him out. And I checked you out, and I thought, oh, my. I want to be able to do what he does. I know what I do.
I want to do what you do. So that's actually
do what he does.
The mutual benefit we've had is
Yeah.
I want to just soak up some osmosis from you.
Yeah.
And
you were kind enough to drive up to my house, and that's how we met. And Brett is, I have to thank Brett for that, Brett Papa.
Scott Trez says, aren't you worried about leaving coffee on your amps? Not really.
Oh, yeah,
No, I'm not.
I'm a bad guy.
No, I'm not worried about it. Maybe
Not a
at a
good thing.
gig, I'm not going to do that.
On the floor, it goes.
No,
on the floor.
I don't.
But see, if I put it on the floor, I'll
I'm gonna
kick
it
knock
over. Yeah,
Exactly.
just
Back
put it on the amp.
Yeah.
On the amp. Omer says, what are you thinking about the future of rock or blues music?
I think it's strong. I think the thing is, popular culture won't allow it on the radio right now, but there's a huge movement for people making their own music and getting it straight to their fans. I'm really positive about it.
Good. I like to hear that. Another Breaking Bad comment. Can we do a little call and response? Yeah, I think we
Sure.
can.
What does that mean?
I know. I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm gonna create a little loop and we'll do a jam.
Okay, cool.
B minor. Let's see. What's your favorite key to play in?
Oh, let's do A minor to D or something.
Yeah. I got something.
Meters.
Oh, I love that. Now that you said meters, now I'm thinking meters, but I got something.
Go anywhere you want.
I got something.
Okay.
I was thinking B minor, and I just played the wrong chord in the loop. Here we go.
Well,
I got it. We're good. Tim Pierce, session master Tim Pierce, session master Tim Pierce. I can't even say it. Dude, that was really fun, and
Really fun.
I think I don't know if we're gonna top that for today. That was pretty
No, it was top.
dynamic.
It was pretty toppy.
Yeah, it was dynamic. It was very musical. I'm
That's call and response. It was a good idea.
Yeah, and you know, and the coolest thing is, I kind of come up with a few little outlines for the live stream, hoping that it goes somewhere else because of what people
ask
are
for.
asking.
Yeah.
You know, so Steve Cropper, James T. Munhall, Chris Durham. Wow, that was a really nice comment. Chris said, "I'd keep the Marty and Tim XM Sirius channel on 24/7."
Let's do it. Somebody would just have to pay us to do it.
Yeah, and then mix in with the Grateful Dead once in a while channel. But you know what would be awesome is having guitar players curate a channel on there, like a guitar channel.
Yeah.
You know, that would actually be really
great.
cool. Although, like,
Yeah.
well, it's all numbers. It's a numbers game. So if people don't want that, you know, they're doing what people want, or what is going to make them money, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks. Michael Bonacorso. Joshua Norco said that was epic. Ozzy Farrow says, when are you going to make a record? Well, one thing I do want to say since I have you here is, and thank you again for giving me your time and your resources to help me go into the studio and make a song. And I told you earlier, but it's the song. It's a song that's at the end of all my Marty music videos.
It was a pleasure. I'm glad you get to use it.
It happened at a weird time where I was kind of out of the marketplace, but when we made it, so it kind of just sat around. But I want to thank you again, and also you produced it, and you also helped write it too.
I did. I wrote a refrain.
Yeah, it helped a lot. You added
good.
some stuff to it. I'll talk about what you added, but you added some stuff to it, And then we also did it at Sunset Sound.
Historic Studio. Google it if you can. It's amazing. It's a great.
Stairway to Heaven was there.
Yeah, Prince, Purple Rain, The Doors, Van Halen's first like 2 or 3 records. Yeah, it's deep.
And Brett Papa came and played on it too.
He did, yeah.
And Van Halen is his dream.
Yeah,
Like
we
so
did
we
it
were-
in the room that Van Halen recorded their first record.
Yes.
That should give you chills. Gives me chills.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying it.
So, if you guys aren't sure what that is, so I do have original songs. I'm playing a gig with my own little power band.
Are you?
Yeah. At the it's February 16th in Petaluma at the Mystic Theater. Opening for this, Steve Jordan, the drummer. So
I know
So
who
he has a
is.
label,
Yeah, okay.
and one of his artists is called the Reverend Sean Amos.
Cool.
And he has a CD release or album. Let's not say CD.
Yeah. I want to come.
R.I.P. CDs. But
So it's in a theater.
it's a venue. It's a good venue up
Cool,
there.
right.
And so I'm opening, and my buddy Jamie, who sung on that song, is going to be the singer.
He's my buddy too.
Yeah, I'm so
love
glad
him. Love
that
him.
you guys were able to
Yeah.
meet. So I am doing a gig, but honestly, I know what my calling is. I'm super happy I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
And I will do music and performances, but the one I'm
You belong to the world now. You belong
no,
to us.
Petaluma, California. So
Yeah.
February 16th, I'm going to talk more about it. I'm going to be bugging you about it. But the riff was, ooh. Don't worry, you don't have to remember it. That was
I
1,000
forgot it.
songs ago.
Exactly.
1,000 songs ago. Probably
I got
more
you
than
go.
1,000. Yeah. But I had a chorus that went. Which is really fun to solo over that. But you broke it up with your studio knowledge, and instead of just repeating that as the chorus, there was a way to kind of mix.
A release.
A release.
I made
So-
a release from it.
So
yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of and a second time, just over and over, instead you added. So the first one's what I added, and then I'll play the second one that you added to it, and it added so much. So thank you for that.
Just a little release.
A little bit,
Yeah.
and it helped a lot. And so anyway, that's called Making Something from Nothing. It's funny, we did it so long ago. It was called Something from Nothing, and it was recorded and way before Foo Fighters came out with a song called that.
I didn't realize that. Cool.
So my song just sat around and did nothing. So when I did finally kind of put it up on iTunes and all that, I called it Making Something from Nothing, just to,
Good.
even and those are the words in there.
Yeah.
But so anyway, thank you for that.
You're welcome. We'll do it again sometime.
And I'm so excited that I've been able to use it for something.
Me too.
So like when I started Marty Music, one of the pieces of smart advice I got was having some of my own theme music at the end for the end plates. People start to recognize, little things like that to make it a cohesive brand. So I was sitting there going, hey, I have an original song that I've done nothing with. I can use that. So I just use that. And it's cool because it starts with a lick, and it's only, I think it's 20 seconds of it.
Yeah.
So you don't even get to the chorus
Yeah.
in the actual
Yeah.
video music. But, just to I go, hey, so anyway, that was the lesson, you guys. Thanks again for blah, 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 and leave your comments and all that. We'll see you later. Snare crack. So anyway, thank you for that.
Hundreds of thousands of people get to hear it. Wow,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Matt Dunphy, what's up? Old school friend of mine. Matt, thanks for watching, dude. Another even older friend, Ian Young. Ian,
Hey,
nice
Ian.
to see you. Well, we're going to be wrapping up, so we have Tim Pierce here, right? We've got him here. So,
I'm coming back though.
Oh, you're coming back.
Yeah, I'm
but I'm
hooked.
saying we have
Yeah.
you in the moment, so if you guys, anything you want to know, what model PRS is that?
Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Well, it's definitely
You tell me.
later than the 90s.
It's about
because-
4 years old, and it's probably if you look at this on his website, that's what it is.
Good answer.
I'm so lame.
Well, a lot of people appreciate, what you're doing, so that's great. Lots of love from Ross, and
Thank you.
Richard just tuned in. So, there's some stuff to find on, this is archived here. Billy Millars helped a lot today. He said, yeah, come back, Tim.
I am gonna come
And
back.
he said, I will
soon,
come
too.
back too. That's what he says.
See you in
So,
January.
Thank you. Yeah, so what's going on in the next 2 weeks in your life and career?
I'm gonna have the Christmas holiday, but I'll go back a couple of weeks. I did something for Pink. Justin Derrico was in Nashville with his wife and couldn't show up for his gig with Pink, and I made a song. It's like Everybody Hurts, and Pink. It was a song that Pink and Kelly Clarkson opened the AMA Awards with.
Okay.
So I did it at home. I did all the guitars. We did one version of it, and she decided it wasn't rock enough, so I had to redo it real quick, make it more rock,
Okay.
make it more simple. And it opened the, if you look on YouTube, it opened the AMA Awards.
Did you see her hanging from the building and all that?
I only watched what I saw on YouTube, which is them on stage together. But
Oh.
I did that at home, and delivered the guitars.
Who's
to
the coolest person besides Marty that you've worked with?
Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20.
Nice.
He's the coolest rock star out of all. If you look at my resume, I've worked with a lot at this point, older rock stars. but Rob Thomas is the coolest rock star I have ever worked with.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah,
He seems cool. That's nice to hear.
yeah.
He's kind of been under the radar the last few years.
Well, it's, he deserves that.
okay.
they were
He's a
huge.
good songwriter.
He's a good songwriter. Yeah.
I mean, the lyrics. And what's interesting is when they first was that Matchbox 20?
Yeah, yeah.
When they first came out, like, there was something about it I didn't like.
It was a little too complex, maybe. I liked simpler music, but as time went on, I began to appreciate it more. Lots of great guitar tones.
But like by the time he's doing that Santana tune and solo songs,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I really like him.
Yeah.
And like when he first came out, it was it's just my own taste, but he
They were great bands.
I just started to
Great.
like him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they came out when I was like in my jazz hole phase.
Okay.
Yeah. How many guitar?
Then they
players?
weren't complex enough.
Right. How many guitar players does it take to screw in a light bulb? That vibe.
I come from ZZ Top, and so I like simple Cream, Eric Clapton. I like simple stuff.
Suzanne Williner, thank you again. Steve Cropper. Bev Davies. He says, Tim's worked with just about everyone. My favorite go-to for you is Michael Jackson.
Yeah, well, I showed up and got to play on the song Black or White. I got to play in the bridge, actually.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought I played. But that was the producer, Bill Bottrell. But I played this heavy metal guitar in the bridge. Michael was obsessed with Motley Crue at that moment. He wanted a departure in the bridge that was like Motley Crue, and so I did my best to do that. And it ended up on the record.
And you met him.
He was there, very personable, looked me in the eye, very sweet, very nice, very easy to be in the room with.
Crazy, huh?
Wearing a sweater and a pair of jeans,
Was Bubbles there?
No.
All right, we'll do one more jam and then we're done.
Okay.
time we have, boys and girls.
Really fun. Thanks.
Thank you, Tim Pierce.
You're welcome, Marty Schwartz.
We made a YouTube video right before this too, so
That'll be up.
stay tuned at some
Cindy
point. We
Quay,
just kind of
thank
talked
you.
about your gear setup. Every Saturday at 1 o'clock, you guys. Thank you again, Marty Music. Gig February 16th. Blah blah blah. Nonstop videos. Instagram. If you're still with us, thanks for watching. Sorry we didn't see your comments, or maybe we're not sorry. I'm not sure yet. I'll find out later. But
We can take it.
yeah, we can take it.
All right.
We can take it. Thanks again, you guys. Signing out.
Thanks, Marty.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you for watching, everyone. See ya. Slide to stop. Boing. Yeah.